Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us for the PHNX Suns pregame show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsay Smith, here with Saul Bookman, Gerald Bourget, and Espo. And tonight, the Phoenix Suns will face off against the Los Angeles Lakers. Time to beat LA.
Let's go.
Am I right?
Always time to beat LA.
There's never a bad time to beat LA.
Yeah, but there's kind of a lot on the line in this one. I mean, not necessarily like specifics, but some specifics. There's bragging rights, of course. The Lakers are in desperate need of a win. I feel like the Suns are in desperate need of a win, not necessarily from a standings perspective, although it would help, but just the fact that it's been a minute since we won a game and it would be really nice to win one. So,
True.
I mean, how are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I would say this, though, before we even get into that. It's a pretty big day today, and we're raising money for some kids, right?
We are.
And we want to start that off the top of the show so we can get as much money as possible for these kids.
Yes.
So today is PHNX Community Day, obviously, and I probably fucked up the whole rundown, but I don't care because I want to raise some money. Throw up the graphic. Camera, and here we go. Obviously, Lindsay, this is a charity that you are near and dear to.
Yes.
And so why don't you tell everybody why this is so important?
All right, I can tell you guys. So Ryan House is one of my favorite organizations here in Phoenix, among many, but I serve on a couple of their committees to help them fundraise because Ryan House is 100% funded by the community. And what does Ryan House do? Well, they offer respite and palliative care to children with life-limiting disabilities and illnesses, as well as their family. They also provide hospice care, which is a little bit of a tougher one to discuss, of course. But that's how I found out about Ryan House, because a dear friend of mine had a nephew who had to utilize Ryan House for his end-of-life journey. And they're just really cool because when you have a child who has to go through hospice care, obviously it's like the worst case scenario that you could ever be put in. But Ryan House takes the heavy lifting off of your plate, if you will. They're there to provide not only a space with top of the line medical facility equipment and people who will take care of your child, but also from like the personal side. They'll greet family members who come in. They'll welcome them into the house. They'll make sure they have everything they need so that the parents or the direct family doesn't have to do that. You don't have to have people coming in and out of your home. You don't have to worry if your child's comfortable. They'll take care of all of that.
Yeah.
But then on the palliative care and respite care side, this is where they come in and they kind of are like a summer camp is how I like to describe it. Because sometimes if you have a life-limiting illness, you need extra care, right? You could have a parent who has, or a child who has 24/7 round-the-clock care. So one parent stays up all night, one parent stays up all day. And sometimes it's nice to just have a date night. Mm-hmm. And so you can utilize Ryan House. Your kid feels like they're staying at a summer camp because they have cool people around them, cool facilities around them, from like an indoor hydrotherapy pool, art studio, music studio, an outdoor playground, like all the fun stuff. So it feels like they're at Ryan House. They get to know and love all of the staff who are there. And the parents can trust that their kids are being cared for, because that's obviously the biggest thing, right? When you have a kid who needs specific attention or help, it's hard to trust somebody else will love on your child in the way that you do. Mm-hmm. And Ryan House, you can trust that.
Yeah, sure. As a parent of a young kid, I hope I never have to utilize it, but it's comforting to know that something like Ryan House is there that supports families that have to go through that. Mm-hmm. This, and that's why I'm so proud we're doing this today. Saul, thank you as our GM, green lighting this and being fully on board with this. I'm glad that we can help families this way, but it doesn't mean we can't have a little fun with it too.
Oh, for sure.
Because
totally F them kids today.
Fund those kids.
Yes,
fund those
100%.
kids. And I'm throwing the gauntlet down. If we get to $500 in pregame,
okay,
we've got a specific read that everybody loves when we do it here at PHNX.
Oh, no.
And I will do it in the Nookie Monster voice in post-game if you get to $500. So let's make it happen. If you get to 1,000, I won't do it if you don't want it done. So
if you get to 1,000, you guys get to vote.
And just so your questions can be answered, Brian Hogue in the comments asked, Should we donate pre or post? It doesn't matter. Either
Both.
one. It's one joint show, pre and post, all one big tally. Plus, we added to everything else that everybody else has done. All the other teams have done. Coyotes will be going on later today, too. So it's one big, giant effort. We appreciate everybody. This is the leaderboard. We got to beat. Dude, we can't. First of all, as a Wildcat, we can't let ASU win. And right off the bat, we're about to catch them. Let's go. Ads not from AZ, $49.99 super chat. Let's go.
Very nice. Let's go.
For a good cut. Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch out. We're coming for you, Sun Devils. And Nookie Monster might be here for post game.
We also got Mike B for the kids with a bunch of emojis. Thank you. And Brian Hogue, take care of the kids. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. So far, before the show started, we're at $1,072.41 as a community. So this is really cool. Yeah, so I'm really excited.
We might have to open up the Rolodex and start texting some people.
Right?
See who can get the the most famous person to donate or something and see what we can do.
That would be fun. Stinky Louie, thank you for yours. Said bigger than basketball. It absolutely is. Sunderous Dunk said, Espo's mother was a hamster and his father smelled of elderberries. Am I missing something?
What movie is that from? Is that from Princess Bride?
I think it's from Princess Bride, yeah.
I don't
understand that one, but I'll take it.
It's from
his
something.
father smelt of elderberries.
And then Dylan, okay, I got a cool little nugget. It said, celebrate Dylan's first super chat. Your first ever super chat. Dylan, thank you.
Dylan.
Appreciate it.
Very nice.
Okay.
All right.
We don't need one big donor. We got hundreds that donate.
Do.
We are not besmirching the donor of the ASU podcast today.
The highest donation so far came from ASU.
That is not us, and we are not going to do that. I apologize for Espo.
Yeah, so the highest donation came from ASU from a single individual, and it was $420.
It was Monty Python, by the way. I had it wrong.
The Holy Grail.
Deep down, I knew it. I just had it wrong. So.
It was from Reza. So shout out to you for helping us out, Reza. Okay, let's talk a little bit of Suns basketball, and then we will jump back into some more super chats. So how are you guys feeling about this one? Because I feel like the Suns need to win this game.
I don't know if they need to win this game, but this is a game that they should win when you look at their upcoming schedule. They need to take advantage of, not that the Lakers are subpar, they've actually been playing a lot better in recent weeks, but they need to take advantage of the time off that they've had. Not having DA to go against Anthony Davis obviously kind of hurts in this matchup. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Bismack Biyombo and Jock Landale to perform tonight, or at least defend him well. And AD's been on a tear, but the biggest thing for me is keep them off the free throw line. The Suns are fourth worst in free throw rate, and the Lakers are fourth best in free throw rate. We've seen Austin Reeves shoot like double-digit free throws the last couple of games.
If Austin Reeves beats us, I swear to God.
He dropped 30-some the other night.
There's always that one person, right?
Like, it's
Austin freaking Reeves.
He's coming off a 35-point game.
Walmart,
just saying.
Alex Caruso.
Great for him.
I'm just
Congratulations on your once-in-a-lifetime 35-point game. Let's not see it again. Thank you very much.
Let's not do that
you hope
tonight.
so. But
My God, if that happens, I swear. Look, guess what? This is going to come as a shock. I don't feel good about this one. Right? Okay?
What?
I mean, simply because you look at it and the Suns have won, what is it? I think it's 12 of the last 15 games overall.
12 in a row.
No, it's 12 of the last 15, I thought, because it counts or 12 of the last 16 because it counts. Or no, hold on.
are you talking about against the Lakers?
Against the Lakers, it's what is it? It's 12
So
of something.
they've won 12 in a row if you include regular season, playoffs, and preseason.
That's what it is. Okay, so
So this would be this would be 13th.
So I don't like that. Eventually, a streak like that breaks,
11.
right?
So that was last time. But the thing is, that streak lived while Jay Crowder was still technically a member of the Suns.
Oh, Jesus.
Now he is officially not. And he was the image of him with Andre Drummond.
Come on.
If they lose, I'm fucking saying it's that for
we're
sure.
We're blaming Jay Crowder. Okay, it's better.
I'm not blaming Jay Crowder. I'm just saying he was a member of the Suns for the whole streak.
If we win tonight, I'll do a
saying.
salsa. I know that.
All right, there we go.
Redemption.
When you have a streak like that, eventually streaks end. Now, I'd much rather it end in a fairly meaningless regular season game than if these two meet in the playoffs. But this fan base really needs a nice win to kind of galvanize everybody and remind them the boat isn't sinking.
chill out
You're
a
just
little.
staying afloat till KD comes
Yeah.
back, kind of thing. So.
What's wrong, Lindsay?
My ring just broke.
Your brain just broke.
Yeah.
Brain just broke.
My ring.
Oh,
your brain.
This is your
Sorry,
brain.
I got really distracted. I was like,
brain
what happened?
She just took a deep sigh. I was like, did you get something else in breaking news or something?
No, sorry.
No, just breaking ring, not
This
breaking
is breaking
news.
ring, not breaking news. We did mention this yesterday, but it's another little nugget about tonight's game. The Suns can clinch a potential tiebreaker over the Clippers just by winning against the Lakers tonight.
Yes.
So that is something that also is another reason why you want to win tonight's game, especially because, unfortunately for the Clippers, obviously Paul George getting injured and being out, 2 to 3 weeks is what they're estimating right now. They could potentially fall in the standings because of that. And so I don't think that the Suns are going to fall. I think the Suns are going to probably stay pretty close. But if you're nervous, that could be a benefit.
You owe $1. You said the word.
Oh,
word?
damn.
Add it
We
to
need-
my tab.
we need to
Super
do
chat that shit, Liz. Let's
Add it to my
go.
tab.
Oh, we need to do it like Pee Wee's Playhouse, and anytime it's said, the alarm goes off.
We do. We need a little sounder
Just
for
like
that
a
for sure.
boo.
All right, a couple tidbits for you for tonight's game. We'll first talk about the injury report on the Suns side of things. Kevin Durant is still out. Deandre Ayton is also still out. On the Lakers side, Anthony Davis was probable coming in tonight's game. He is going to play, right, Gerald?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to play. LeBron James is out and Mo Bamba is out. Now, the biggest thing for me on this one is the fact that we got word that KD and DA did not travel on this trip with the Suns, which for Kevin Durant, that's fine. I get it because we still have a week and some change to go before we even expected him to get reevaluated.
Mm-hmm.
On the DA side, though, that concerns me because I don't know about you guys. I didn't expect him to miss 2 games, let alone when they come back, it'll be 4.
This just goes to show you every time they say they're okay in a post game, that doesn't mean shit.
Or 3. It'll be 3.
It'll be
Yeah.
3. But what doesn't bother me is, okay, so he missed 1, tonight's 2. But how they play these guys when they come back for an injury, he probably wasn't going to play back-to-back games anyways.
Fair.
Friday, Saturday is back-to-back, so might as well just let him stay at home, rehab at the facility, and come back on Saturday at home so instead of traveling. That's why I'm not overly concerned on this one.
You've got the Kings on Friday and then the Sixers on Saturday. You would rather have him for the Joel Embiid matchup on the second night of a back-to-back. We've seen them do this with guys coming back from injury. They'll play them on the second night of the back-to-back just to give guys reinforcements and to make sure they're not playing in both. And also, the game on Friday is in Sacramento, so if by chance he is okay, we could see him rejoin very easily in the middle of the road trip, like Devin Booker rejoined the team in the middle of a road trip last year in Miami on the second night of a back-to-back because he was feeling ready to return. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that he'll be back Friday. It looks like he'll probably miss and make his return Saturday, but we'll see.
Wouldn't you rather him play on Friday, though, if he's able to go?
No, I'd rather have him
Embiid.
for Joel Embiid than Sabonis.
That's true.
But wouldn't you clinch the tiebreaker against the Kings, too? But I guess you're not going to, you just don't think you'll catch the Kings?
You're not catching the Kings. The Kings are too far ahead at this
But,
point.
wouldn't that serve better for the Suns to win that game over the 76ers if we're talking standings?
In division-wise and tiebreaker-wise, yes.
Sure.
But overall, it doesn't really matter which game.
If they take care of business tonight, they clinch the tiebreaker over the Clippers. So I'm pretty sure they have the best division record outside of they have a better division record than Sacramento right now. So
I am nervous. I am starting. There is a little bit of please don't mess around with this. Please win some of these games. It's going to be hard without DA and KD. Devin Booker, we saw him the other night against OKC have 46 and it still wasn't enough, right? So you need the guys that have not been coming through of late to start coming through and start taking care of business, especially off the bench, and the guys like Terrence Ross and Jock off the bench and guys like that. So I'm a little nervous. I'm not worried, but I'm a little anxious. I'm not going to lie about that.
I think I'd be more nervous.
More
nervous if the Clippers didn't just suffer the Paul George injury yesterday because they're the closest right there in the standings with you. I think that might give you a little bit more wiggle room. And I feel bad for Paul George because you never want to see that guy have any kind of leg injury after what he's already been through. But I think that makes me a little less scared than I was before yesterday.
I'm looking at the loss column. I'm not really looking at the games behind or anything like that. I'm looking at the loss column.
Right.
And guys, I mean, we could seriously get to Sunday and we can drop 3 more. Like that could happen. And if that happens, then you find yourself really, really on ice.
It could, but like he said, like the Clippers without Paul George, they've struggled this season. The Warriors can't win a game on the road. They're 8-29 on the road. The Thunder are coming up strong, but they're still what, 3 games back in the loss column. Same for the Mavs, who are right now playing the Warriors at home and in a tight game. Like I just, there's too much up in the air to worry about it. I do think they need to continue to focus on themselves and just win games and not worry about what's going on below them. You're right. A couple of losses could definitely swing the race, but so could a couple of wins. Like if they win 2 of the next 3 games, suddenly they're looking just fine.
Well, I don't think that's massively out of the realm of possibility either, even if DA doesn't come back. They
played the Kings well the other night. And
rack that shit up, Emma.
Sorry to interrupt y'all's point, but we have gotten some really solid super chats. And if you are just joining us now on the pregame show for the rest of the evening here at PHNX on the Suns and Coyotes shows, and we've done it all day, we're collecting donations via super chat for Ryan House, which is an amazing organization in town. And Luke just dropped a $250 super chat. Thank you, Luke.
Damn.
Said, go Suns.
We even before him.
Yeah, and before him, we also got one from Devin Simone, $100 in super chats. This was also Devin's first super chat.
Let's go, Devin.
Got a little note from that one as well. So thank you guys. Mike B also sent one, said, bless your heartlands. Thank you for doing this, doing God's work, all of you. Thank you, Mike B. Manuel said, I'm a man of my word, Saul. More to come. Go Suns, beat LA. Girth is law. Espo ate a shoe. Lindsay has strong teeth. She eats frozen M&Ms.
Manuel last year, I believe, was one of the bigger contributors as well. So
absolutely.
Appreciate you coming back.
Thanks so much.
Dylan sent the super chat, forgot to add the note, but then we got the note, said, love Ryan House. And what is your favorite Suns player of all time?
Ooh.
Of all time, that's tough.
No.
Are we talking like player or like person-wise?
Oh my gosh.
Because
We can do both.
I got a soft spot for that.
Okay. No, the right answer for me is Charles Barkley because I'm like twice your age. And Devin Booker is very close to becoming that guy here in the not too distant future.
For me, it's Charles. It's Charles just because
Charles is an easy one.
I like dudes that talk shit and won't back down from anybody. So I'm a big Charles guy.
Yeah.
Steve Nash is an easy one. Devin Booker is an easy one.
I mean, for me, it was Grant Hill.
There's so many.
Grant Hill was my guy watching.
Followed very closely by Jake Sakalides.
Y'all know how I feel about Jamal Crawford.
Stop.
That's my guy.
Are we talking about real Goran Dragic and Marcin Gortat are my guys.
Oh,
like I still talk to
Mikal
them.
Bridges and Cam Johnson are also legitimate.
Mikhail's up there.
There's just too many to pick. You can't pick one.
And
it's
D-Book,
impossible.
like Devin Booker.
Yeah.
We
threw him out for sure. All right, we also have one from Brian. Brian, thank you for your super chat. They said, I got you, Linz. Roy, thank you for your super chat. Said, I can't wait for playoffs. I want KD to close the book on Golden State Warrior Dynasty. Send them home.
Emma, what was the leaderboard on those chats?
Oh, it's over now. Yeah.
Did we win? Did we beat you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
one
also,
pregame and we're already in the key.
And then we also got one from Megan Nat. Thank you. Said, when will Dave King's special guest?
Soon.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Not anymore.
Hopefully soon.
We got to
And
do
thanks,
it.
Amelia.
All right,
Amelia,
thank you,
for yours. This is also Amelia's first super chat. Said, por los niños.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Let's
Amelia. I
go.
appreciate you.
Gotta love the big red.
So we've got the ASU guys over here because prior to us starting the show, they were the ones who had brought in the most super chats for the day.
Killed it.
But I want to just throw this out there because we were asked yesterday when we were promoting this how much we raised last year, and it was $2,000. And that was strictly from the Sun show. So that was all of you guys who were with us last year. So between pregame and postgame last year, we raised $2,000. We're almost already at that number before we've even finished the pregame and gone into a postgame
Yep.
show. So
I'm going to text.
shout out to all of you guys.
I'm going to text some people and see what else we can bring
for
in.
sure.
Yes.
It may not be super chats, but I'll see what I can get them to commit to donate to.
Also, we're at 500, which means Espo has to read a Roman ad in the
Oh,
Nookie
no.
Monster.
Nookie Monster coming tonight.
So-
Please get us to 1,000
Please
so
get
we
us to
don't
1,000 so we have to hear this horrible trash
Yeah,
out of this man's mouth.
Nookie Monster.
Nookie Monster getting
Oh my
excited for
gosh.
Roman
Hey,
ads.
you got to keep hold
Me
on,
love the
Espo.
Nookie.
You're skipping steps here. All right, just a couple more super chats and then we'll talk some sports betting. Libertarian Sasquatch, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. JT said, Alonzo Tucker was my sin.
That's the first time that sentence has
I've
ever been
never
uttered.
Alonzo
fantastic.
Tucker is my sin. I fucking love that.
That's amazing.
Fantastic. And then Luis Sanchez, thank you for your super chat. Said all four of you have been doing an amazing job covering the Suns. Gerald's writing is phenomenal, no matter the results tonight or season. Thank you from all the fans. Thank you.
Thank you. That's
Appreciate
very
you.
kind to say.
Okay.
Bets.
Yes. Let's talk some sports betting. Who you guys got tonight and by how much?
I've got the shitty Lakers by
Gross.
4.
Oh,
Get off my set.
oh no! The streak comes to an end. He says, "I got Suns by 4."
I have Suns by 6.
I have Suns by 5.
I'm sorry, everyone.
You ruined it. You could have picked 3. You could have picked 7.
I feel like I've disgraced my family
That's tough.
and this organization.
You have.
By the way, to the
Damn.
chat, if you don't want me to ever use that voice again, well, at least not tonight. Get us to 1,000 before the end of the
At least not
pregame.
tonight. There you
go.
That's what you have to
That's
do.
like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
That's unrealistic.
He's got lofty goals.
God, somebody just dropped 500, please.
Almost start dropping money.
Oh, who's the favorite tonight? Suns or Lakers? What are we looking at?
The Lake.
it's a
the
Suns.
Suns.
Suns
Nice.
by
The
Suns
Suns
are
are
half.
the favorite. How about that?
Heyo.
Oh, gross.
By minus
I know.
1.5.
I know.
No.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Oh,
get banished today.
We got a
Oh,
Lakers
man.
fan in the building,
I
y'all.
know.
What are we gonna do?
Okay.
No, no,
He
no.
clarified he's not
He's
a
not
Lakers
a
Oh,
fan.
okay.
We can.
Okay.
We can
Just
still be
thinking the
friends.
Lakers will win. Okay, I see.
All right.
I'm glad you clarified because we were gonna. Those are fighting words there in this studio. Mike B at Suns by 5. Aussie Suns fans pod Suns by 12. Jose Suns by 8. Sunders Dunk Suns by 6.
Yes,
So,
I know, Classy Nasty.
Yes, Classy Nasty said shame. Shame.
Shame.
Yeah.
What are you guys betting on tonight? What you putting your money on?
I have a pretty big parlay going because I need Devin Booker to hit that first score.
Okay.
And then I think everything else is easy street, to be honest with you. Torrey Craig over 4.5 rebounds. I think that's easy. CP3 over 7.5 assists. He does that in his sleep.
Mhm.
Booker over 20 points and Anthony Davis over 18 points. And the Lakers scoring at least 105.5 points, which, considering the way the Suns have been playing defense, that should be fucking a cakewalk.
My
That's-
God, this thing looks like an eye chart
that's
just
a
to get you
lot.
plus 875.
Let's get Booker as that first point scorer. Here we go.
Espo, what did you do?
Suns minus 1.5. Chris Paul 15 plus assists. Devin Booker.
Burger.
I'm the Swedish chef tonight, apparently. Devin Booker 30 plus points. Plus 1650. I will take the lead if this hits. There's no doubt in it.
Yeah.
Well, Saul, either you or I will definitely lose our bets tonight because I have AD as the first field goal as a plus 350.
That's
And
probably-
here's why.
Mhm.
DA's out. Busy's playing. No shade to Busy, but I just feel like we might lose the tip.
Mhm.
So I think there's a good possibility that the Lakers take the first shot, and I think it might be AD.
See, I think the opposite. I think since Busy is doing the jump ball, we'll probably win the tip. So that's why Book should get the first bucket. And if he doesn't, then I agree with you. I think AD will be the first one to score in the game.
Mr. Glass ain't getting the first bucket. Biz is going to block.
He always gets hurt in the second quarter, so he should be all right.
I wasn't saying he was going to get hurt. I'm just going to say Biz is going to block him.
It's tough.
And then he might breathe on Mr. Glass, and you never know.
Listen, as much as I would like for the first play to be Busy blocking AD, like I will cheer for that, and I will gladly take the L.
Mhm.
I also would prefer if he just, let him have a little buddy in there and then did it the next time around. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being a little selfish.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to get some bets in on the game, make sure you do that soon because we are just a few minutes from tip off. The last thing that I want to talk about is some repercussions, like low key, but still kind of there. And I thought it was really interesting for the referee that Fred VanVleet went off on a little while ago. Here's what happened.
What's interesting to me about this story is since that Fred VanVleet What's interesting to me about this story is since that Fred VanVleet rant, the NBA has actually demoted Ben Taylor in his assignments. So in the last 5 games, Ben Taylor has only been the crew chief once. He's been the referee 4 times since that game, since that rant, which is a real abnormality with Ben Taylor. If you look at his previous 52 games this season, Ben Taylor was the crew chief in 41 of those games. Basically 4 out of 5 games, he was the crew chief. But in the last 5 games since that rant, the NBA said, you know what, you're going to be the referee 2 in this one. And then again, referee 2, he was the crew chief against the Celtics Houston game the other night. And then Ben Taylor was the referee 2 for the next 2 games. To put it in perspective, Ben Taylor hadn't been a referee 2 in back-to-back games all season. After the Fred VanVleet, it's happened twice. So the NBA, I don't know if that's intentional or whether that's just luck of the draw, but certainly the NBA has taken a different tact when it comes to Ben Taylor's assignments, whether that's punishment or whether that's just, hey, you need to chill out a little bit.
Okay, so I know this wasn't like an open, public-facing slap on the wrist, like you need to do better, but it is something, and I think it's important to note that at least they're paying attention. And also, low-key, maybe if the Suns and Devin really do want things to change for them, somebody's got to take the L and pay $35,000 to get it done.
Yeah, I'm glad Fred VanVleet said what he did, but I'm not 100% convinced this is direct punishment. And if you're the NBA and you feel that he isn't doing his job correctly, you should be pulling him from games completely, not just demoting him from crew chief if that's what really happened.
I don't know if it's necessarily only that, though. I think it was the way he handled Fred VanVleet in the first place, the quick tease and stuff like that. Like, listen, refs, you have to have thick skin if you're going to be a referee, especially at the professional level. Like, these are grown-ass men. There's a lot of stresses on them. You got, like, they used to say that about college coaches. Like, I'll let them give me a couple, like, even some F-bombs. Because, listen, it's a stressful game. Jobs are on the line. Like, there's a lot going on. You got to give them a little leeway. But if you're quick with the trigger, well, that's just a bad recipe. So I can see why they would be like, all right, you need a little readjustment, if you will, but we won't take you off of games.
Right. We need some accountability from the referees. This feels like a back channel sort of way to deal with it a little bit instead of directly publicly, because these players' fines are all public. They're announced to the whole freaking world, and they do this for the players when they criticize the officials, but we never hear about how officials are held accountable or punished for getting calls wrong or anything like that. You have to do some deep diving to like figure out what the logistics are there. It's time for the NBA to stop protecting its officials, because that empowers them to take the game into their own hands. We saw it the other night with the Clippers game where they had technical on technical on technical ejections. Like, nobody's coming here to see you. So, like, stop taking over the games. It drives me nuts.
And while I agree with you, Gerald, that it should be more front-facing, it should be more public, I don't think the NBA will ever do that, because then you can start questioning the integrity of the entire league, the integrity of who's winning, who's actually getting favorable calls. But then they admit it, and it's out in the public. You said the quiet thing out loud at that point, and I don't think they're ever going to do that to themselves.
You can say an official's bad without saying they're corrupt or they hate player X and Y.
But then if you come out and you say an official's bad, then that official needs to lose their job, and now you're publicly firing an official, which I think, I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of, while I don't disagree, it's a lot of gray area that I think it's a little bit weird. And so I cannot understand why it's a little behind the scenes.
It shouldn't take Fred VanVleet losing his ever-loving mind at a post-game press conference for the league to go, oh yeah, this guy is screwing up.
Speaking of which, Scott Foster tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, somebody said we need to do Scott Foster next.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, I mean, listen, while it's not the best case scenario, it's not everything that we wanted, it's something, and I think that's a positive. At least this is an acknowledgement that they're listening a little bit, maybe they're paying attention to it, and maybe having conversations behind the scenes about being better.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when we see the calls start evening out more, but at least this is one step.
Yeah. So, all right, we got a couple more super chats before we say goodbye and round out the show. Steven, thank you for your super chat. They said $50, said, from Leah, Debbie, and myself, all the love for the Phoenix family. We still have Lindsay's signed book as the winner on display here. Proud to be a part of this community. Thank you. I love
Thank you,
that.
Steve.
This was
Thank
that
you,
when we did a
Steven.
watch party last season.
Yep.
Saul got a copy of my book. It made me sign it.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
That was the
You
winner.
didn't write this book. You're
I
just
didn't.
on the cover
Well,
of
the
this
book
Yeah.
that I'm on the cover of. Yes.
It's like the Walmart version of Gone with the Wind.
Which I'm so glad that you guys still have it. That makes me feel good because I felt really bad that was the prize that you won. Although it is hilarious.
We need to get another one for in the studio now that we
Oh,
have
I
proper
have
places.
one. I've been waiting to get back from Lindsay, and she's been holding on to it. And
I'll
I gave
bring
it
it
to her
back.
like
I'll bring
8
it
months
back.
ago. I didn't forget.
And then Perplex Damage, thank you for your super chat. They said, go Suns.
Thank you.
Go.
Let's do this.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us in the pregame show. We raised well over $500. Where
Over
we come out?
633,
Over
I
600?
believe.
Yep,
$633.90. Oh
More
my
to
gosh.
come in the post game. We're
Thank
trying to get
you
over
guys
$5,000 today.
So,
Let's go.
so much. Yes. Tell all your friends. Find all your pennies. Whatever you can donate, we will happily accept. And join us in the post game
These kids
show.
are like, what the fuck are pennies?
What's a penny?
Why are you doing this to us, Lindsay? We want more of the pennies.
Apple
All
penny.
right. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you in like what, 2.5, 3
Yep.
hours, something
Sure.
like that.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though. Lindsay Gerald.